Hello, welcome back, my favorite movement enthusiast, to today's session of shoulder mobility, where we will be going through some of the most effective shoulder mobility exercises that will help you not only keep them healthy, but also strong and increasing your range of motion so you can take that joint through an ever increasing range of motion without getting injured and while becoming stronger, so you can add to your other workout routines, be they strength related, be they calisthenics, whatever it is. Having healthy, strong and flexible shoulders is really important in general. So if you're ready, let's check out some of these exercises. Now, while most of our exercises will be dynamic, we have a handful of static stretches. For this one, you'll need to sit down with a wall behind you because we're going to use that to our advantage. Start with one hand flat on that wall, and then we're going to try and turn our upper body parallel to the wall behind us, lengthening our frontal delts, lengthening our pectorals, and working on the musculature that connects around our rotator cuff to stretch it out just a little bit. Now, this is more of a flexibility exercise. If you do not know the difference, flexibility is all about lengthening a muscle, while mobility is about actively taking a joint through a long range of motion. So we're gonna hold the static stretches for 30 seconds. Turn your upper body and hold. And once you're done, of course, you're gonna switch to the other arm. Touch, flat, and turn your upper body. Hold for 30. And release. Very easy exercise. Let's move on to something more dynamic. Starting with shoulder rotations. Now, we'll have a lot of exercises in a quadrupedal position because we can put as much pressure as we want to on those joints. Now, start out with very short movements and over time increase your range of motion. You will also start putting more and more pressure, pushing down towards the ground while keeping your arms fully extended. Now, our shoulder blades are tucked in instead of lengthened for the first 30 seconds. So scapular adduction, and then we move into scapular abduction. Lengthen your shoulders, round your thoracic spine the tiniest bit, and continue on with small circles. Now, you're still actively putting pressure on your arms, and you're increasing your range of motion with every circulation. Now, of course, you will have to switch directions. So we have 30 seconds of one direction and 30 seconds in the other direction with tucked shoulder blades, and then we're going to do the same with lengthened shoulder blades. Now, of course, you can sway sideways separately. You can sway forward or backwards. So all of those swaying exercises are amazing at loosening up, limbering up, and helping us activate all of the muscles we will be working on their mobility in the coming exercises. So perfect exercise to start out with. Which moves us to the next exercise, focusing on one of the other aspects of mobility, which is control. And in this case, scapular control, switching between adduction and abduction actively and in a long range of motion. For many people, this will be a very short movement in the beginning, but over time you will be able to pull your shoulder blades together all the way and then lengthen them as much as you can. You're building the control for your scapular musculature as well as your pectoral musculature that connects to our deltoids. So working this exercise, scapular push-ups, is really amazing at building that control, which leads into mobility over time. Which moves us to our next exercise, starting with our hips all the way back towards our heels and arms fully extended. Now we're actively pushing our chest towards the ground to open up our deltoids and our pecs. And from here, we're just gonna switch with extended arms forward and backwards again. Now, the most important part of this exercise are the last couple of centimeters here, where you're actively pushing your chest all the way down towards the ground before you release some of that tension We're still adding a little bit of strength in our arms and shoulders, and then we're actively pushing down with a rounded back and elevated scapula, our chest all the way down. Now be sure not to just go through the motions, but try and work very actively with every single movement. Push your chest down, flex your back, release the tension, and push forward. Put some pressure on your arms before you move all the way back and chest to the ground. Once you get more and more flexible, you will be able to actually touch down with your chest. I'm not quite there yet, but we're getting there together. Which moves us to one of my favorite shoulder mobility exercises, which would be a simulated downward dog. So this is in yoga called a downward dog position. And instead of working on our posterior chain flexibility in our legs, we'll just keep the tiniest bend in our knees so we can work a little bit more focused on our shoulders. Bend those knees and then push your chest all the way down as far as you can and pull your shoulder blades together. Hold it for a handful of seconds, move forward, release, take a short break, and then go into this position again. If you can hold it for 15 to 20 seconds as a static exercise, that would be absolutely amazing. Just be sure to lengthen your arms and pull your shoulder blades together, pushing your chest towards your legs and releasing for a short break before you go into this movement again. Now this one is amazing for not only building strength and a little bit more flexibility in our shoulders when moving backwards, but it's also a preliminary exercise for all kinds of arm balance exercises, be they for instance the crow pose, or for instance the crane pose, or the headstand, or the handstand. And now we have our final exercise in the quadrupedal position, and that will be connecting our shoulders to our spine through cat-cow. Spinal extension with tucked in shoulders and spinal flexion with lengthened shoulders. So now we are working that scapular control into our spinal control. And since our spine runs directly through our shoulders as well as our shoulder blades, being able to work those muscles connectedly, I'm not even sure if that's a word, actually I'm pretty sure it's not, is very important. Connecting the muscles around your shoulder to your back, go into flexion, lengthen those shoulder blades, go into extension, pull them together. So we are working basically a scapular push-up with additional spinal work. Very amazing exercise, especially if you do it in the morning. Limbers up your back and shoulders, and it feels absolutely amazing. So now we can sit up once more, wall behind us, because we're gonna use it once again, this time in a more dynamic fashion by going through rotations. So we will turn sideways, place the hand on the wall, and then we're gonna move back with our upper body and switch. Both hands touching, extend forward, reverse, both hands touching, and extend forward. Now, the more you turn your upper body parallel to the wall behind you, the more stretch we'll have in our pecs and in our delts, as well as our biceps insertions, and even in your forearm by opening this hand all the way as much as you can. So we're turning back, rotation in our shoulder, and pushing forward, and switching. Left side, complete extension, right side, complete extension. And once again, we have a little bit of lumbar and thoracic mobility included in this exercise. And now we can sit back all the way, back in complete contact with the wall behind us. Open your arms at shoulder height, and we're gonna go through external rotation as well as internal rotation with our shoulder blades in complete contact as well as our elbows. So push your shoulder blades back, push your elbows back, and your hands touching. Go into external rotation, switch to internal rotation. Go into external rotation and switch into internal rotation. Now from here, we're gonna add one more exercise because we don't need to change anything except for staying in this external rotated starting position. And then we're gonna push our arms all the way up touching the wall behind us into complete extension, shoulder blades, elbows, and back of the hands in contact before we go down all the way once more, pulling our shoulder blades together, keep them in contact with the wall. Extend, push up and close, elevate your scapula and depress your scapula and adduct it, pull it down and together. All the way up and all the way down. Both arms extended right in front of us, one arm in complete contact with the wall, and we're gonna start opening from here, adding some lumbar and thoracic rotation, opening our chest and shoulders and closing in again. Now this one, once again, connects our spine with our pecs and our shoulders, which is an amazing combination for work. So now I've been working on strength, we've been working on flexibility to increase our range of motion, and we've been working on coordination, strengthening that mind-muscle connection to all of the musculature that surrounds our rotator cuff and our scapula to keep them healthy, strong, and loose for as long as we can. Now I saved this exercise for last because it's a little bit more advanced, or it requires a little bit more flexibility and it puts a lot of pressure on our shoulders. So be careful if you're doing this for the first time. We're starting out in a deep squat position, which is already a problem for a lot of people. So if that is the case for you, elevating your heels will help you get deeper into a squat position. We're gonna bring our arms in contact with our knees, our hands flat on the ground, raise on our toes. And now from here, all we wanna do is extend our legs as far as we can, and then put our entire body weight on our arms and shoulders. So we're almost leaving the ground with our toes, our legs and arms are completely extended, and our shoulder blades are elevated, meaning lengthening them as much as you can. Hold for a handful of seconds, release. Take a short break down here before you extend once more, and then put all of that weight on your hands, on your arms, and on your shoulders. Let your head hang loose, lengthen those shoulder blades, hold for a handful of seconds, and release once more. Now this is almost a simulated handstand. We're building insane strength in our shoulders, and we're working on scapular elevation while we are basically upside down, which is insanely effective in strengthening your shoulder blades in this elevation part. So here we have scapular depression, here we have scapular elevation, pulling the shoulder blades all the way up while having so much weight on them is insanely effective in strengthening your upper trapezius and deltoid musculature. Now, if you're interested in learning more advanced stuff when it comes to shoulder mobility, like this here, just let me know in the comments, maybe leave a like, and if this video does well, I will go and advance this to the next level or next step, which will be mostly working from a handstand position where we're putting a lot of pressure on our shoulders, building a lot of strength while combining it with a little bit more control and flexibility to become even more and more mobile in our shoulders. Now, when it comes to programming, we've already mentioned 30 seconds for the static stretches, which was just one for now, or two if you count the downward dog and you do it more statically. 30 seconds is perfect to hold. After that, for the dynamic exercises, aim for 30 seconds to 60 seconds in a single round. And if you are able, go through the entire workout. And if you still have energy, go for a second round. If you do this 2 to 3 times a week, that should be more than enough to keep your shoulders healthy, loose, and limber for longer and longer. And over time, this will also help you with your calisthenics work, with your lifting work, and in general with quality of life, because shoulders usually get a lot of injuries, and being able to avoid that is one of the best things you can do. Now, with that said, sadly, that's all the time I've left for you today. However, if you like the video and subscribe, and check out other videos on this channel because we literally have new ones every single day. So until tomorrow, Captain Cairo, peace out.